Burnaby Deer Lake.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. We're talking about a very serious disease that sometimes has killed, one that's highly infectious. Here's the doctor's assessment. Quote, the sustained endemic rates of CDAD at Burnaby Hospital have ranged between 2 to 3 times the national and provincial averages for more than the last 2 years, end of quote. So for 2 years, this sometimes lethal infection has raged through a major hospital in the Lower Mainland. Infection rates up to 3 times the national average. Infection that has been linked to hundreds of cases of serious illness and dozens of deaths in my community. This has been going on for 2 years, Mr. Speaker. What I want to know, has the minister read the letter and has he responded to it?
Minister?
Thanks, Mr. Speaker. A couple of things come to mind. First of all, I don't want anything I say to convey that I or the government or the Ministry or the Health Authority don't take seriously an issue like this and the threat that C. difficile represents. I will say this, at the time I visited the hospital, to the extent that the issue was raised, the clinicians I met with indicated to me that they felt all appropriate steps were being taken. So I do rely to a certain extent on the information that I received when I was at the hospital. In addition, I would offer the member this assurance. People like Dr. Doug Corrigan, I can assure the member, who plays a leading role with the Patient Care Quality Review Board, have a level of expertise that I hope the member isn't challenging in developing recommendations around which issues like this can be dealt with. And we will continue to follow those recommendations.
Member has a supplemental.
I do, Mr. Speaker. So in the letter it says, as was stated previously, 473 recorded cases of patients suffering severe complications after contracting C. difficile at Burnaby Hospital, 84 deaths. And these figures do not take into account 2 further outbreaks that resulted in unprecedented unit closures later last year. So what's the government's health authority doing in the face of these outbreaks? Cutting the position of an infection control officer specializing in C. difficile. So the record has been hiding, ignoring, and delaying. The site director assigned to the hospital chose to minimize its chronically high C. difficile rate. That's what the doctors say in the letter. So my question, going back to the minister again, has the minister seen the letter and has he responded?
Minister?
Thanks, Mr. Speaker. I don't begrudge members of the opposition raising issues that are important to British Columbians. But to suggest that people don't care or people are ignoring the problem is simply inaccurate and unfair. The Provincial Infection Control Network that was established in 2005 was dedicated in part to addressing the specific kind of problem we are discussing today. So the member can come into the chamber on any given day and suggest that her judgment or the judgment of one of her colleagues should supplant that of a clinician or a learned expert like Dr. Corrigan. I will not do that. I will, however, be guided by the advice, and the government will be guided, and the health authorities will be guided by the advice of clinicians, and take into account the concerns expressed by clinicians who practice within the hospital. Of that, you can be sure.